Is Pokemon card investing dead? I've seen a few other creators make videos on this subject over the past week or so, and I thought I would weigh in and kind of talk about my strategy or how I'm looking at the Pokemon investing scene going into 2025. Before we get too deep into it, I do want to say that I am more of a collector than an investor. I know I talk like numbers and all that on this channel because that's honestly what interests me. I was watching people like Pokeoz, I was watching people like Danny Phantom way before I started the YouTube channel. And my first like number, like investing, I guess, video that I really played around with was back in Chilling Rain time. So this has always been something that's interested me, but before all that, I am a collector. I love Pokemon cards. Like, Pokemon has been a big part of my life on and off, like, forever, since I could remember. And with or without investing, I would still be purchasing all of this stuff that you see behind me. Like I said, I'm a collector. I collect Pokemon cards. I love the sealed product. I probably collect more sealed than singles. But I do look at everything in terms of, like, how can I recoup my cost down the line? I'm not someone who's looking at product thinking, okay, as soon as this goes up like 50%, I'm selling it or whatever. I'm looking at it more like, where are these going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 15 years? Like, immediate returns don't necessarily concern me. And I think that is something we're going to have to talk about in this video because right now, a lot of products are up a lot higher than they were like 6 months ago. With the big influx of collectors and investors coming into the Pokemon TCG, like, there are reasons behind it. You know, I think a lot of people are hungry for a new video game. Like, it's been a while since Scarlet and Violet now. We had the DLCs or whatever, but there hasn't been a mainline Pokemon game, even like a secondary game other than mobile games and whatever updates in what, almost 2 years now? With all the hype behind the next Legends game, Legends ZA, I think a lot of people are excited for that. You know, I've been looking at the TCG waiting to see if we get some sort of like mega evolution situation, and I'm really hoping we get that. So that's a factor into the Pokemon hype. You also got like the black and white set that's been announced for Japan. That's leading people to think maybe a black and white remake. We might get a black and white set, which would be huge considering Black and White 2 were like some of the biggest games and the most loved games in the franchise. You also have the potential for Gen 10, which we all know is coming at some point. It might not be 2025, it might be 2026, but we are going to get it. And then Pokemon TCG Pocket. I know people personally that haven't collected Pokemon cards in 15, 20 years that are now collecting Pokemon cards. Some of them are opening them, and some of them are looking at sealed collections. Some of them are investing. People have been getting in touch with me about it because they know I'm into Pokemon cards. So people I haven't talked to in a while, people that are just looking for advice, you know. So it's kind of nice to get that perspective of what the new investors or collectors are looking at and what their thoughts are, you know. Some people don't think that a $180 or $200 booster box is expensive because that's just what it is right now. But you've got people, probably a lot of you guys that have been watching my channel for, you know, its existence. We just hit 1 year of the channel, so happy birthday to us. You know, hopefully we can hit that 4K. You know, if you haven't subscribed yet, help me out. Let's get 4K by 2025. We saw a lot of booster boxes for relatively cheap over the past few months. Even this time last year, you were able to get like SV Base and Paldea Evolved for like 95 USD a box, no problem. Now you're looking at Surging Sparks going for like over 200 bucks. Like, that's nuts. But there are people that don't think that's nuts. It's a good set and people want it. But I do think with all these people coming in, you know, Pokemon adjusted to printing a little bit less of some products because Scarlet and Violet wasn't selling that good. Like, 151 sold good. I'm sure Paldean Fate sold good. And then it seems like basically Twilight Masquerade and Surging Sparks. But I know for Surging Sparks that Pokemon plans to release less of it because the demand wasn't there for previous Scarlet and Violet sets. I don't think they necessarily think about the quality of the set and what's going to be popular. I just think they look at it like, okay, set A, B, C, D didn't do too great, so let's print a little bit less of set F, right? Like, that's kind of what the situation was with Surging Sparks, right? Like, they're printing this stuff way earlier. They don't know that Surging Sparks is going to be popular. They're just seeing, oh, Temporal Forces isn't doing great. You know, the last few main series sets haven't done great. We had 151, but this isn't the same situation with Surging Sparks. We'll print a little bit less of it. And then, just with the perfect storm of demand going crazy because of all the other factors, TCG Pocket, the 151, all the video game hype, the prismatic evolutions, the return of trainers Pokemon. Like, there are a lot of factors that are making the Pokemon TCG more attractive than it's been in the last 2 years. And I don't think Pokemon was necessarily ready, at least with Surging Sparks. They might be thinking, Prismatic is going to be crazy, Journey Together, crap name, is going to be crazy, Team Rocket's going to be crazy. Like, they might be on board with that stuff where they already know some of these sets are going to be successful and they'll be printing expecting more interest into the hobby. But at least right now, where we're sitting December 2024, I don't think they expected the TCG to be booming as much as it is. So with all these factors, we're having basically product across the board selling for quite a bit more. We're not seeing like $100 booster boxes. Like here in Canada, I saw some pre-orders for Journey Together, and this is the first time I've seen a pre-order at this price in a long time. I don't know if I've ever seen a booster box pre-order up here, but Surging Sparks, up until like the week of release, you could pre-order it at some stores for like 150 Canadian. Basically everywhere I've seen for Journey Together has been 180, so $30 more. I've still seen some stores have it for cheaper, like 145, 150, but that might be a placeholder listing. It might have also just been a first wave sellout situation. They might be feeling the market. I think it's going to be really tough to find some of these newer sets for less than 180. And when you think about it, in Canada here, I'll try to do the conversions on the screen, but in Canada, Pokemon Center sells their boxes, the Scarlet Violet era boxes, for $210. So 180 is technically below MSRP, but it is a lot more than we've been expecting. I think it's okay that the LGS stores are charging this much because they were making minimal profits pretty much all of Scarlet and Violet era. Like, people weren't buying booster boxes for $150. Personally, I wasn't buying anything. I was too focused on Sword and Shield. Like, nothing in Scarlet and Violet has really interested me enough to pay that little bit more that it costs. Like, Paradox Rift I picked up a bit of because I think it's a good set, and then it was relatively cheap, so I grabbed a few boxes. Same with Paldea Evolved, but not much else has been amazing. It seems like going into 2025, though, everything is going to be amazing. And I mean, demand is here. People just want whatever products they can get right now. I feel like this is a little bit of a ramble here, but I don't think we're going to be able to find cheap booster boxes, not for a while. Like, I'm going to assume like end of 2025 going into 2026, the market might return. I think we're not in a bubble, but we're going to be in like a long-term like hype period. There's a lot of good stuff coming out next year. 2026 is the 30-year anniversary. There's going to be a lot of good stuff happening then as well, I'm assuming. And I just don't see prices dropping or returning to where they have been, 6 months ago, anytime in the next probably 9 months. Pokemon's going to have to catch up on printing, or people are going to have to like get out of the hobby for stuff to drop. Like, if demand is higher than supply, that's kind of the situation, right? Like, supply has been high, demand has been low, but now we're hitting like a period where demand is higher than supply. So once that corrects itself, it's going to go back to how it was. It just might be a little while still. That being said, I think there is still potential. Like, if you're looking at investing in a short-term perspective, like the 1-year mark, I don't necessarily think you're going to make much money on investments in a year. I think if you're looking at it like a 5 to 10-year period, you're definitely going to make money. The nice thing about investing in the sealed Pokemon card market is everything goes up over time. You could buy a booster box, it could go down, and then it could double in price like 10 years down the line. As more gets opened up and Pokemon stops printing it, it's like supply just dwindles. And as supply dwindles, even if the set is crap, it's going to go up in value. It's just what happens. And with Pokemon, I think there's always going to be that market. People are going to always want to open packs. People are always going to have that nostalgia hit. Like, there's been a lot of conversation with the Sword and Shield era, when the kids that were like, 8 to 13 become 20. They might want to revisit the Sword and Shield era, and that's going to cause a lot of this product to go up in value. It's already gone up a lot in value just because it is amazing. Incredible artwork, the alternate arts, like Celebrations was sweet. Evolving Skies is probably going to be one of the most iconic sets of like the modern era. Like, I think it already is. And Scarlet and Violet is going to be the same as well. There were some sets that weren't as good, but as a whole, like, every set was better than that first block of Sword and Shield. We have the illustration rares. We have the special illustration rares. Like, there are some amazing cards. They might not be the best sets or, easy pulls or whatever. There's things to complain about with anything, but Scarlet and Violet as a whole has been really good. So the way I'm looking at it, you can still find deals, but I'm not really picking up a bunch of product right now. I feel like if you're patient, you're going to be able to find the deals. I don't think you should be chasing like the new shiny thing or the thing everyone is hyped up about. Typically, the best way to win in something like this is go after what's being ignored or what's being shit on. Like, right now, Shrouded Fable is kind of a mid set. People don't like it. Pull rates suck. There aren't a lot of chase cards. It's just not great. Like, there's nothing really good about it except the price. The price is cheap. It's gonna go up. It might slack like a Shining Fates or something, right? Like, it might take a while to increase, but it's one of the only products you can get for like a cheaper price right now. There are other plays, like there's nothing as obvious as like, this set, it's $500 a case. Buy a bunch of them. It's gonna go up because when you buy something at the bottom, it's got nowhere to go but up. Like, you're not really going to see booster boxes dip below $100. It's going to be rare. But there are still things like ETBs. Like, I've seen stores selling Obsidian Flames ETBs for 50 Canadian right now. Like, that's a solid deal. Obsidian Flames isn't the best set, but that box comes with like a really good Charmander promo. It's a Charizard set. In time, I think it'll be worth it. Like $50, it's worth it, man. Like, some of these ETBs are great pickups right now. There are still some booster boxes. Like, Stellar Crown could be an all right play. I think it's one that people weren't necessarily stoked on, but now that it's hard to get other products, people are, attracted to it. They want it. It's a great set, whatever. But I think if you're patient and you just wait out the hype and just pick up things here and there, like snipe good deals, people have been finding stuff like 151 at Walmart. Like, you can still shop at Walmart. Walmart's more expensive sometimes than going to an LGS store, like getting it wholesale or whatever, finding it from a friend for a deal. You can sometimes find good product that you can't find elsewhere. I don't know. I've heard of people finding Evolving Skies in the United States. That might be BS. I have no idea. You can find things like 151 still. I got 151 poster boxes for 20 Canadian off of walmart.ca the other day. They had booster bundles in stock 2 days ago. Like, there are still plays. You just got to find them. They're not as obvious. You need to know what you're looking for. I think the investing scene is getting more and more hyped up. I think a lot of people are interested in it and they're going to dive into it. But this kind of happened in Sword and Shield era. I hate taking this situation and just going, oh, it's like Sword and Shield, because that was like a whole different situation. There was like the COVID supply shortages and all that stuff. They absolutely demolished the value of some sets, just printing them to the ground. I can see the similarity of a bunch of people just being like, you can make money with Pokemon cards. Let's go buy a bunch, hold it, sell it. And then when people realize, oh, it's not as easy as like, if I just hold it for 6 months or if I just buy it and pop it on eBay, I'm going to make a bunch of money. They're going to stop. And those products are going to be sold for cheaper. I'm not really looking at Pokemon investing like it's dead or it's not going anywhere. I think it's fine. I think it's going to be a little trickier. I think if you're patient and you're looking at it from a long haul perspective, like, don't be thinking 1-2 years. Like, if you're investing in sealed Pokemon cards, buy them because you like them, or put them in your closet for 10 years. That's really the best advice I can give you. You're not going to make a quick buck off of it, especially right now. Earlier in the year, there were plenty of opportunities to pick up like alternate arts or bubble mews or things like that, but you can't tell the future. You're not going to necessarily know a card is going to go up triple in price in 6 months. Like, oh, let me buy 100 copies of this bubble mew so I can make, thousands of dollars down the line. You can't really tell. Sometimes things just happen. And if I knew Surging Sparks was going to be worth like what it is now, I would have bought cases of it when I could for 145 Canadian, but I didn't think it was going to be as hyped as it is. And that's just the reality. You can't tell the future. You're not going to know what is going to be the next best set. You're not going to know, like what card is going to be the next Moonbryon. Everyone's speculating and trying to, fit the square in the circle, trying to make a card worth as much as Moonbryon is. And we might see it. We could very well see it. It could be in Terrestrial Festival. It could be the Pikachu. It could be Rocket's Mewtwo, whatever. But anyways, Pokemon investing is not dead. I'm going to continue to make videos on Pokemon card investing, on the value of Pokemon cards, but I'm also going to transition into more fun content because I feel like going into the next year, there's not going to be as much to keep up on in terms of number and temporary values and short-term values. It's not going to be like big up and downs every month. I think everything is going to be up for a while across the board, across the generations. Everything is going to be up a little bit or quite a bit over 2025. But things are going to change. I'm going to keep an eye on it. I'm really excited for Trainers Pokemon to come back. I'm really excited for Mega EXs to possibly return. I really hope they do. The Mega era was one of my favorites. I loved Pokemon X and Y. I loved the XY era full art Mega evolutions. So hopefully we can see some more stuff like Mega EX. Special illustration rares would be some of the coolest shit I ever saw. But yeah. Openings coming soon, live streams coming soon. I have a different setup right now because I'm trying to set up OBS so I can stream to you guys. We're going to do a test stream with a special illustration tier list. I'll make an announcement. Stay tuned. I'm hoping for Monday at like 8 p.m. EST, but keep tabs on the channel. I'll make a short. I'll leave like a little community post talking about that when the time comes. And yeah, let me know in the comments below, what is your 2025 Pokemon card investing strategy? I feel like a lot of people are looking at it different ways. I feel like there's a little bit of fear. I feel like there's some people really hoping they can take advantage of some products. I'm just interested to see what everyone's opinions are on the topic. But yeah, that's going to be it. Different style video today, guys. I know, big time ramble here, just kind of shooting the shit with you guys, talking about the Pokemon TCG, where my head's at with things recently, especially after seeing those videos from like Poke Office and Nostalgianomics. They brought up some really good points. If you don't watch them, I don't know why you're watching me and you don't watch them. Go check them out. And yeah, I'll get out of here. Help me reach 4K. Last time I'm going to say it in this video. We're really close. I think we need like 250 more before the end of the year. I think we can do it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. All right, guys, that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.